competition, though. Name a squad that is better, though, than my whole team. We a pot of gold. I'm a dog. I'ma need a bone for my whole team. I'ma let it go like, yeah. In the field like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, what? In the field like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, what? Whole squad like, yeah. In the field like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. Whole squad like, yeah. In the field like, yeah. All day like, yeah. All night like, yeah. You don't want problems, you don't want smoke,
EA Sports coverage of the National Football League brings us to historic Baltimore, Maryland, and M&T Bank Stadium. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the New York Giants and the Baltimore Ravens. The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This fielded at the 2. And look at this. Right away, a loose football. And it's picked up by the Ravens. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy, because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And he's going to bull his way down to about the 1-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 8 and a good first step there with 2nd and goal coming up. 2nd and goal from the 1.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Jackson got a man. It's caught for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown with touchdown number 7 on the year, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown.
The Giants take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Got it.
Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. On the ground, this is Saquon Barkley. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. Here's 2nd and 9, just a yard on that last run. Throwing Jones. He'll complete this to Ingram as tight end. And this one will go to the 28-yard line.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Fourth down, so on is the punter, Riley Dixon. Corey Coleman back deep to return. This is away and a very good kick, angled for the sidelines. And this will be up to the ruling of the side judge here. He says it crossed out of bounds at the 16-yard line. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left.
More football.
We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team, and that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a two-game losing streak could have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Oh, I like that right there. Not only was it the right play, throwing it away like that, frankly, I think it was the only play.
Yeah, got outside of the pocket, realized he had nothing, just chucked it free.
Yeah, live to fight another down, right?
The second down attempt there knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football, because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And this will get them all the way inside the Giants' 10. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a first and goal. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
They'll run here with Ingram, and he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about... The 2.
That's it. That's
Dalvin
it. Big
Tomlinson
hit.
on the tackle. A gain of 3 brings up second and goal at the Giants' 2-yard line.
From the 2 now, second and goal. They'll look to run with Ingram, and he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Mark Ingram with touchdown number 7 on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker with the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This one fielded at the 5. And he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything, at least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. Now this pass into the hands of Saquon Barkley. 10 yards, good for a Giant first down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Set, ready, 10-2, so.
6-man. Check curls, check curls, check curls.
Now Jones on 1st and 10. Jones hit and the ball's out.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
On 2nd down, here's Barkley. He's got a first down and more inside the 30. That one covers 24 yards. It's a first down.
I have to admit, I'm excited by that play call and the end result, because this is a team that's down big early in the first quarter, and a lot of teams will just panic, abandon the playbook, and just start firing the ball all over the place. It's way too early for that. Stick to what works.
And this is going to be intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And a short return will be stopped inside the 10 at the 8-yard line. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward. They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Going for Metcalf on the deep ball, and that'll be incomplete. Good protection that time, and they couldn't hook up on the long one. Now it's 3rd down.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play, and guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
He's got this almost to the 40 before going out. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a first down.
That's something you have to be aware of as a defense and have to find a way to account for him. And if you're not going to use a spy, you're telling your guys to keep your eyes on him, because when he breaks out and makes plays like that, all he does is hurt you.
Have to at least be able to contain him somewhat. There they could not. They go play action here on 1st down. He's going deep for Brown. Oh, so close to an interception. Read that beautifully. Got his hands on it, couldn't get it. And it's 2nd down.
Well, you've got a receiver here who's got 1 touchdown already in this first quarter, and they were trying to double his pleasure there, wanting to continue to go to the guys already gotten into the end zone. But good coverage and make sure that this time it fell incomplete.
This pass complete. Jackson finding Andrews. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
Throwing on 1st down, it's Jackson. Blitz coming, and down he goes.
Well, maybe that can give him a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things that's gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack.
Even, 4 down, even.
They run from the pistol with Ingram. And that one blown up quickly, as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. This will be a loss of 3, and now a much tougher 3rd down looming. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. Flush to his right. He wants it all for the end zone. And that will fall incomplete. Oh, they took a shot there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. 2nd quarter now from Baltimore. It's the Ravens in possession, but likely not for long as they're in punt formation to kick it away. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
At their own 20-yard line.
Ready?
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still second quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Now a toss left side into the hands of his tight end. Catch number 44 on the year. It's a first down.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size, can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
On first down, Jones. And the pass is intercepted. He was looking for Ingram. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And they'll take over inside the 45 at the 44-yard line.
The Ravens take over first and 10 at the 44-yard line.
You better be afraid of me. You better be afraid of me.
This is Ingram on first and 10. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
When Leonard Williams was picked in the 2015 NFL Draft, I compared him to Merlin Olsen. And I got a lot of grief about it. Did you just see that play there? Did you see how he made that move and made that tackle? That was Merlin Olsen-esque.
Yeah,
there.
I just perked up when you said Merlin Olsen.
Yeah, a lot of people said, hey, that's too much, too far, and maybe it is early, but I think this guy has a chance of fulfilling that.
16 yards on that one at a Raven first. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. That's complete to DK Metcalf. A gain of 6 there on first.
But that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
They run. It's Mark Ingram. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
But when you go from 2nd and 4 to 3rd and 3, that just tells you who won that battle on the last play, huh?
Yeah, first round went to the offense, second round the defense.
It's just me and you.
He can run for it, and he will. And he's going to be taken down here still a couple yards short of the first. The keeper nets him only a yard, and that's going to bring up 4th.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
So a good snap, good hold, and right down the middle.
Never in doubt. Just the way you used to hit them, partner.
You mean like kicking the ball?
Exactly.
Well, that was in high school.
Doesn't matter. I don't care what level. You hit them, they go through.
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
We know, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Jones from the gun, he'll throw. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's fourth down. Here's Riley Dixon now, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Going for Metcalf into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Jones now 4 out of 10 throwing the ball in this first half, but he's got a first down here. Now Saquon Barkley. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Calais Campbell on the stop.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
Let's go, D, let's go. Hey, let's get there.
From the 45 on second down, Jones, he's going to let one fly for Tate, and that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Operating from the gun, Jones. A bullet throw, but incomplete. Problems on third down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on third down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get to third down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on first and second down.
And this will be taken at the 13. And just a net of 31 here. 40-yard punt, 9 on the return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. The Baltimore offense at the line, set to get going. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Now the second down throw on target. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for 13 and a Raven first down. Jackson on first down. And the coverage terrific there as that's knocked down and incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. And that'll bring up second down. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Oh, he's got some breathing room. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as they'll get a chance to talk it over after picking up the first down. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two. On 1st down, it's Ingram. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6. Now it's Jackson. Steps away to his left. And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Mark Andrews, as the first half is winding down, as the Ravens push further out in front. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and a rout is on here in this first half.
Justin Tucker to kick off for Baltimore.
Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, well, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time, first half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. So the drive takes them into Giants territory now, 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. This is Ingram, and they'll get this just to the 47, 1-yard gain.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and trying to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Watch the whip.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Julian Love picks it. And he'll bring this all the way up to the 45-yard line. If they needed a break, they needed to make a play here in the third quarter. Defensively, they did that. Now they got to go quickly and get some points on the board.
And the best part is that they made their own break, taking the ball away. Now they just look at their offense and saying, guys,
let's go.
Come on, capitalize on this one.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust? And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And they take possession of the football and have it at the 36-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. Jackson now 9 of 17 through the air. Not a great percentage, but it is 1st and 10. Here's Ingram. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
50 to Mike, 50 to Mike. All day, all day.
To throw on 2nd and 6. Jackson throwing middle, but it's incomplete. Trying to get it to Willie Snead there. And now it's 3rd down.
I know coaches tell us all the time that having a powerful arm isn't the number one thing they look for in a quarterback. But when you're trying to throw inside routes and you need to put some heat on it, it helps to have the big gun. In this case, just a little bit too much.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Jackson now. Open man is Metcalf. He's got it. Catch number 40 for him on the year. It's a 1st down.
People worry about throwing the out route because often it can get jumped, and that can turn into either an incompletion or an interception. But not on that one. Everything came together, and he catches it and goes over the sideline.
Now it's Jackson. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off at the 20, and he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go?
I think that now it's much more in their head. And what I mean by that is just what you said. You've gone over the changes. I bet they were pretty clinical at the half, not too emotional. They might need to go to the emotional side because you've got to find something, some spark somewhere. And so far, just being calm hasn't exactly worked.
They need any spark at this point. Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Now Jones. It's caught. Shepard. 13 yards, good for a Giant 1st down. With that grab, he now sits at 200 for his career, and maybe more importantly, a 1st down. Jones now, he's hit on just 5 of 15 throws, a poor percentage, but it's 1st and 10. A quick throw, here's Shepard. Too far downfield, something those linemen have to watch out for, and that time it costs them.
Set. 60 outlaw. Watch the slant. Watch the slant.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Here's a throw out wide, complete to his running back right side. They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
I wonder what was going through his mind when he got the play call. He just got sacked on the previous play. He knows they're coming after him again. A little bit of guts to stand in there, take the hit, and successfully complete the screen pass. Really well done.
Jones now throwing on 3rd and long. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. A little too much extracurricular there.
When you have a game with a lot of contact, tensions are going to run pretty high. You're going to be emotional, but you have to harness it somehow, and he didn't on that play.
Here we go, 50, 50, Mike 50. Let's get it.
Ingram. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it. Hatch it, hatch it.
Again, they'll run with Ingram. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore 1st down. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. Now Jackson on 1st down. And it's caught. And he is into the end zone for a Baltimore touchdown. DK Metcalf with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Ravens turn that interception into a touchdown. Tucker now to add the point after. And the lead will grow by 1 more. And that is going to do it for this 3rd quarter of action. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Here's Tucker now out to kick this one away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line.
Let's go.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
2nd and 12 after the 1st down pass play went backwards for 2 yards. Throwing Jones. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Now a shot taken on 3rd down, but it's going to wind up incomplete. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Baltimore with good starting field position as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, 53 yards as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the three phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a fourth phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the fourth quarter.
At their own 25-yard line.
The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
So on the other side of the field now, it's 1st and 10 as they've got things rolling on this drive. On the run, it's Barkley. And they'll lose yardage here. Knocked back to the 19-yard line. A good response by the defense, sending them backwards after that huge gain last play.
Set, ready? 18, Gator. 54. You don't want this. They go.
Now a carry for the shifty Dion Lewis. Lewis has the first down and then some. And he will take it on in for a Giant touchdown. Dion Lewis, his first touchdown on the year. And it's for pride now, but the Giants do get a bit closer. Rosas good with the extra point as they make the score just a slight bit more respectable here in the final quarter of play.
The Ravens take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I both enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it number one for what we've seen this season.
The Ravens on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This time they face a 3rd and 2. Here's Jackson. And the throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Jones and the Giants now with a 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. They hold him to only 2 there on the screen. It's 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle him almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
And the penalty, a big assist to this offense. Now it's 3rd and 3. Here's Jones, operating from the gun. Yeah, that one's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does, is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. Back to throw. Jones. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Count them now, 6 interceptions between last week and this week. Now, the 3 picks last week helped them to a win. They're in the driver's seat once more.
And they're the ones that are doing all the leading, aren't they? Right? The 3 interceptions last week, that led to a victory. 3 interceptions so far in this game, that has them out in front. We often think of the offense driving things. In this case, it's the defense, not just holding teams, but creating big plays for themselves.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now it's Ingram. And a decent gain there as that takes us to the 2-minute warning. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And now a carry here for their fullback. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. After the penalty, it's Ingram. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. That's a gain of 11. Would have been a first down if not for that penalty moments ago. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that. He needed 3. He got 2. Now that'll set up an interesting situation here on 4th and a yard. Tucker's kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And you know in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Giants offense at the line, ready to begin their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory, and the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week, we'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them